Ladies and gents, do not mind the fan you guys in the background or any background noise. You guys know that this traveling DJ like the authenticity of ambient real sounds while I do podcasts, as opposed to just being a environment where everything's all quiet and sounds fake and things of that nature. I'm gonna keep it real. It's 8:31 or 20:31 in Army time. Shout out to the Federalists ahead of time on November 10th, 2016. Federal State is tomorrow, November 11th. Totally forgot that Federal State was on Friday. Been a whole lot of stuff that's been very excited this week, ladies and gents. You guys saw from the election and things of that nature. I'm going to be speaking on that tonight. So, disclaimer ahead of time. You guys know that your boy is a Christian and everything else like that. You guys also know, too, for a full fact, that I'm not a perfect Christian. Your boy from South Central California, and why did I mention that? Whatever, that I'm not a perfect Christian, things of that nature, because I want to keep it real with you guys tonight. I know some of you guys don't like Hillary. I know some of you guys don't like Trump. I know some of you guys are racist as hell and things of that nature. I know some of you guys really pay attention to the media. That you so truly get your mind discombobulated with misinformation that you really don't do proper research. Even on social media, I see a whole lot of folks that looks intelligent, but it's very ignorant when it comes to attacking other people on social media. So I'm going to speak on everything tonight. And it needs to be said, because peace needs to be said. And I'm going to let you guys know right now, because I have to redo this little recording right here. But I had to talk to God, and I told the Lord, asking for forgiveness in advance if I say some words, cuss words especially, on this podcast tonight. I ask for His forgiveness, because I'm not trying to cuss nobody out, but I know that some of you guys that listen to my podcast, you're going to need to hear the real in order for your mind and ears to be open. So I'm doing my best not to say no cuss words in the podcast tonight. I'm pissed off at this country as a whole unit because there's so much division that's happening. Because folks choose political parties. The funny thing is, most of this country turned away from God a long time ago. And the reason why we are dealing with the things we're dealing with right now, it's not because of race and creed. It's because of the sins that's going on in this world. But most of the folks, you guys are just straight up sheep. You guys don't pay attention to what's happening. Drop my phone on my chest. But yeah, you guys don't pay attention to what's happening in the spiritual aspect of things. So I'm going to speak on that tonight. And trust me, if my tongue does slip and say some words, my apologies in offense to those that do not like cussing and things of that nature. But you guys know, like I said earlier, I'm not a perfect Christian. So if I had to get a point across somehow to where I do say some words that open up your ears, because you guys say, oh, he's a Christian, he's saying this and this and this, you guys need to know, not Christians are not perfect. We're human just like you guys are. You guys, I was, before I even get this to the podcast, I was going to mention this a little bit later on in the podcast. I'll mention right now. It's this cat by the name of Ocean Sky. Shout out to Ocean Sky, one of the top great entrepreneurs I've ever seen on social media, whatnot. Things of that nature. He's passionate for what he does. He does different things from Forex to forgot we call it the housing thingy and things of that nature. So the dude is he's doing it. He had a video that he did off of Facebook Live or whatnot, and I took a look at the name and I took a look at his face. I'm like, oh, that's Ocean Sky. I know who he is. Shout out to my boy Manolis for shooting me the video and whatnot and things of that nature. Great friend of mine I work with, and also great entrepreneur as well in his own right too. So he shot me the video. I took a look at it on my way here. I was listening to what Ocean Sky was saying, and I'm going to mention some of the things he's talking about. Donald Trump is an entrepreneur and stuff like that. Believing on the political parties, but he was saying that Trump could make America great again, and I'm going to explain what make America great again really actually stands for. I'm going to explain why now I might think that Trump might actually be a cool, funny president. You never know from an entrepreneur standpoint. I'm going to mention that. You guys tend to forget your boy's an entrepreneur as well, so I'm about to mention that too. Yes, I'm going to mention the Lou talks and things that he said and things of that nature. I'm going to mention everything. And I'm going to mention two that didn't vote. I'm going to mention why. I'm going to mention a whole lot of stuff as soon as I fly through what's been said this week for the Daily Podcast for Business-Minded Leaders, also known as the Wolves Den. So to my wolves that's listening, my wolf cubs that's listening to this podcast, right now it's about to get real. Excuse me. And things of that nature. So let's get started, and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to use all the minutes up. This might be a part 2 series. I'm praying it doesn't be. So let's go with the two of the tracks that I had created. One's called Broken World, and the other one's called Where's the Love. Perfect titles for what I'm about to speak on. And at the same time, as Federal Day is tomorrow, not trying to take away from that, it's also, I think, the 5 or 6 year anniversary of Dreams and Realities Chapter 1, one of the instrumental albums that I have put out back on November 11, 2011. Yes, you guys can find it off of Bandcamp.com, or you guys can actually find it off of iTunes, Apple Music. Search for the name Chinchilla Q, and search for the album Dreams and Realities Chapter 1. Take a listen to it, because happening this year, November 21st, 2016, I'm going to have it a 2-part album series that's going to start. It basically is the chapter of all chapters. It's Death of a Valentino, Value 0, Tears of... I know the second one. Forgot the first one. Oh, first one is Tears of Reality, Part 1, and Tears of Death, Part 2. You guys do not want to miss it. It's going to be on Apple Music, Tidal, and Spotify, streaming only. I'm not making it into like buyable album just yet. I might push that for next year, 2017. We'll see what happens. So you guys see that I'm still on the grind. I'm still doing these podcasts. I'm still doing the music. Despite what happened in the election, I'm going to tell you the reason why later on tonight. So with that, let's play Broken World, and let's get down to it. Let's hit it. And before I say anything else, let me introduce myself. My name is Quinn Moore, also known as Chinchilla Q of HipRockerProductionCM.com. Welcome, Wolves, to another edition of the Wolves Den with your host, once again, Chinchilla Q, or DJ Skylo, Anaku07, or Q. I don't care which name you call me by. It's like that. So, ladies and gents, this is podcast week 24 on November 10th, 2016. Sessions 114 and 118 from November 7th through the 11th. Not bad, to be honest. That's pretty good. So let's get down to it. So for Blessed Mondays, November 7th, 2016, I actually did that late on a Tuesday and things of that nature. But I said you're never too old to live out your dreams, so let society fool you into believing that their idea of a dream is for you. Live out the gifts that God bless you with. Do it for His purpose. You guys hear me say it so many times. Always put God at the forefront of whatever you do. Don't let society dictate that you can't live out your dreams because you this size, or you this color, or you this age, or you blah 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 blah. That person can't live out their dreams because they fail to acknowledge that they have the power within themselves. Let me rephrase that God has given them two gifts to do what they want to do, but they want to belittle everybody else. Don't listen to those idiots. Those are the idiots that don't go after their dreams. They are the ones that complain and cause problems. Stay away from those individuals and go ahead and live out the dreams that God has blessed you to do. You have to go ahead and do that. You cannot be stagnant and not live out your goals and dreams that God has for you. So that's for Blessed Mondays. For November 8, 2016, on the Grind Tuesdays, I said, no matter who wins the election, do know that God is in control of all things. I will come back to On the Grind Tuesdays later on tonight. Stay tuned. That there's a reason why I'm gonna go in depth with that. That's why I did the introduction earlier. So for the early post I did, I think it was Tuesday evening, if I'm not mistaken. Motivational Wednesdays. I put for November 9th, 2016, Ephesians 6:12 from the Bible, which says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickednesses in high places." I'm going to mention that when On the Grind Tuesdays tonight. Trust me, you do not want to miss this podcast. November 10th, 2016, Daily Tips Thursdays. For today, I just kept it at one word: pray. I'm going to mention that as well too. Everything's added together. So for tomorrow, because I did it earlier as well too. So for Friday, Veterans Day, November 11th, 2016, Boss said it's Friday. I said, despite how the world will change around you, be on your guard 24/7, as well focus on the thing which is important most. I'm going to stop that track. I'm going to play this track right now. Because now we really about to get to the nitty gritty of what I really want to talk about tonight. So I'm really going to mention everything that I just talked about. So for On the Grind Tuesdays, Motivational Wednesdays, Daily Tips Thursdays, and today, here's the thing. Yes, I seen the election. I seen what happened. Yes, I was shocked like many Americans that Donald Trump had won. Actually, I really wasn't too shocked. Because either way, and I'll be honest, I'm not with any political party anymore. Haven't been in a good long time. Reason being, because, and this is what I put on my Facebook, whatever. For those of you that follow Facebook and looking at these idiotic posts that's being posted up and things of that nature, I'm going to keep it real with y'all tonight. I've been trying to hold back my aggression, what I want to say, but I'm going to keep it real because it needs to be addressed tonight. So, you know what? Let me turn this track off too. I'm going to just keep it without the music. We ain't going to put the music on. We're going to keep it acapella tonight. You know I got to make you guys laugh. So, ladies and gents, I didn't vote, and I see so many folks that say, well, if you didn't vote, you should have no right to complain, and woo. There's actually a comedian, I forgot the dude's name. He mentioned something like that, to where he said, I have every right to complain that I want to, because the ones that did vote have voted whoever they want to vote into the office. Now you got these issues. But at the same time, this reason why I don't really like politics. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gents, when it comes to the president, he or she is just one person. You got the House, you got the Senate, you got Congress. They control things, but at the same time, they got a puppet master. The puppet masters are the global elite. Global elite is run by Satan himself. It's a sad shame. But you do got humans that actually roll with Satan and his homies. Reason why I mentioned Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Let me reread that to you guys. You guys should truly understand. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against some rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual weaknesses in high places. Trust me, Trump ain't the issue. Hillary ain't the issue. It's a really demonic spiritual issue that's going on around the world right now. I mentioned this so many times in my podcast and even my music. Ladies and gents, we living in Babylon. Welcome to Babylon. She is falling. And the reason why I said welcome to Babylon is for the fact that if you really read your Bibles, but then again, most of you guys are not Christians, so I'm not going to judge you on that. That's between you and God. But I will say like this. For those of you that don't read the Bible, will you really take a look at Babylon, like Egypt, even Syria during this time, other places, even Mesopotamia, which was the original Babylon, and things of that nature, they was like our own republic. You got to remember, the United States is a republic. It's not a democracy. It's a republic. Ladies and gents, you have to remember that. But at the same time, any Babylon country that rises in power, And basically, if